Hey guys, Infinity Evolved, the second set of Shadowverse Worlds Beyond just dropped, and with that, they've also announced that they're giving away a free starter deck for the Infinity Evolved set. So a lot of people are going to ask, which one should I claim? And so I'm going to give you guys a framework, and I'm going to review each of these starter decks one by one to give you guys a better idea of what to pick. So one thing I'm going to note is that generally speaking, um, don't think too much about the value. Think about what classes you actually want to play, and that should usually take precedence. But I think if you already have all of the legendaries within your particular deck, it might make sense to pick a second class that you're interested in. But it can never go too badly to get 1200 vials, right? So I think it's up to your individual circumstances. But let's go through each of the decks now. So the first one is Officer Swordcraft. So this one is actually quite a strong starter deck. Both of these are the best two legendaries within Swordcraft in my opinion. If you have 3 Amelia, that's a bit unfortunate, but if you are missing Amelia, then this is definitely worth picking up because I think Gildari is the best sword legendary in the set, and I also think that it's going to get better over time when it gets more and more rally support. So these are already two very good pickups. In addition, all of the golds, apart from Prim, which is garbage, but all of the other golds are pretty good. So you definitely want to run like 2 or 3 copies of Volts in your deck, run 2 or 3 copies of Laconia, and Rose is a new gold, and it is actually quite strong as well. So it does act as like a removal piece. It lets you draw cards and then bank those 2 play point cards in your hand until later on. So overall, I think this is a very strong starter deck. I think if you're missing the golds or the legendaries, definitely worth a pickup. Next up, we have Ramp Dragoncraft. So this is probably one of the worst starter decks for today. So even if you are a Dragon player, you still might want to skip it. So of course, Fenny is a bit of a controversial card, right? I think it's not that bad, but I'm not sure that this set you're going to be playing Ramp Dragon. I think you're more likely to play Face Dragon. And if we think about it from the context of Face Dragon, I think a lot of these cards you don't really want to craft. I mean, you don't really want to like get these from the starter deck, right? You're going to get many copies of the silvers and the bronzes. So I think in general it's pretty skippable. It looks like it's for Ramp Dragon, but Ramp Dragon, you're gonna have to wait for people to crack the code on that one, and I'm not sure it's going to be this set. So and Burn Eye is probably one of the weaker Ramp Dragon cards from set one. Whereas Fenny is kind of essential for it, but we don't know if Ramp Dragon is actually good yet. So yeah, I will give this one a skip. The golds are not that great either. This one's okay, but remains to be seen if it's good enough. Okay, next one we have Wardhaven. So Wardhaven, I think this is a very good starter deck because you're getting two of the most essential legendaries within the class. So this is obviously designed for Havencraft, but Sleeper is very useful in Control Haven as well. So you're getting one of the better set one legendaries for Haven. In addition, you need Wilbert if you want to play Wardhaven, so getting one free copy is absolutely great. In addition, we've got a bunch of strong golds. So of course, Unholy Vessel is one of the strongest cards within Havencraft, and we've got Agnes, which although probably doesn't go into Wardhaven, but it is nevertheless a very strong card, and I think we will eventually see a deck that is centered around this, and that will be strong as well. So I think we're looking at a bunch of strong golds. I mean, this one is probably more useful for, despite having Ward in its name, it doesn't have Ward, but okay, whatever. But this card is used in Control Haven quite often, so it's a big threat. You can buff it with Dark Haven Ward, Dark Haven Grace, I think it's called. So obviously, this card has seen play in set 1, it might see play in set 2, but it's not for Wardhaven. But regardless, I think mostly if you're picking this particular starter deck, you're doing it mostly so that you can play Wardhaven. And if you're missing these two legendaries, then just go for it. This is a no-brainer pick if you want to play Wardhaven, which is looking to be a pretty good deck. Next up, we have Earthright Runecraft. So this one is very good if you're looking to play Earthright. You're getting one of the most essential Earthright legendaries in set 2. The Lilithum is basically a win condition. So if you're looking to play Earthright, you definitely want that. Kuon is more of like a turn 7 play, and it's not bad. Like, the spell boost effect doesn't really mean anything, right? But regardless, it's still good for tempo. And then also, if you happen to miss like this one legendary for your spell boost deck, sure you can pick it up. But I think for the most part, when you look at this particular starter deck, it's definitely an Earthright deck. So if you want to play Earthright, pick it up. If you want to play spell boost, I think it's probably not even worth it to pick it up just for Kuan. And you can also wait a few days or weeks to see if there's like a hybrid build between spell boost and Earthright Rune. Some people already tried that in set 1, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's one in set 2 as well. But regardless, I think this is a kind of an interesting deck, right? I mean, I think both of these legends are very good, but they're for different classes, like of the different archetypes within the class. So that's the only hesitation I have. But regardless, I think that this is not a bad starter deck if you are looking to play Earthright Rune. But Spell Boost, I'm still on the fence about. So next one is Departed Biscraft. This is another very, very strong starter deck. So I think Yuzuki is probably one of the best set 2 legendaries, and Cerberus is also one of the best set 1 legendaries. So if you are missing these and you want to play Abyss in general, then I think this is a very good pickup. Even the golds are strong, like Earthras, Laura, Ceres. These are all playable within all the archetypes, in my opinion, within Abyss. And then Excel is basically just for aggro. So I don't know how good this card is yet. I think it's not bad, but I'm not sure aggro Abyss is quite there yet. So overall, I think the card selection in this starter deck is very strong, just because the 2 legendaries are some of the best in class. And then even the gold selections are quite strong. So I can recommend this one if you are looking to play Abyss. Okay, next up we have Puppetry Portalcraft. So again, this one looks like a pretty strong one. Like it doesn't have many artifact cards. In fact, I don't think it has any. But if you are looking to play Puppet, this is a very good starter deck. So you get Orcus, which many consider one of the best legendaries in the game. We have Sylvia, another very strong gold card that can be used in any Portalcraft deck. And then we also have the new Sway Symphonic cards. So this is a very, very, very powerful Puppet card. So on turn 5, you just play this, and it basically will kill anything without even needing to use an Evo point. Then your opponent has to deal with a 3/3 and a 6/1. So I think, yeah, for anyone looking to play Puppet, this is a very strong starter deck. But if you're looking to play Artifact, I think, unless you're hunting for Orcus, I think you can probably give this one a bit of a skip. But it just depends on your individual circumstances. And this is, again, it's good in Puppets in set 1 at least. Okay, Pixie Forestcraft, I think this might be the last one. So this is a bit of an interesting one, right? Because when you look at most kind of forest decks, they only run 1 copy of Aria. Now, granted, this might change given that there's more forest support within the fairy space, but even so, I think realistically, you're going to lean towards more of the roach side of things, which means you probably don't run more than 1 Aria. I think often people run Olivia over Aria anyway. But we do have the new legendary, so Titania, Queen of Fairies. So in and of itself, it actually looks like a fairly strong card, but I'm not sure how to properly evaluate it yet. I think the crest can be detrimental at times, but I think realistically it changes the way you build your deck, right? Like before, you would have felt like you had to run Godwood Staff, but maybe with this card out, you don't need that infinite card draw from that anymore. So you can maybe build a more greedy or aggressive deck because you're always getting a fairy in hand, which with Aria will do 1 extra storm damage, right? So it remains to be seen how good this card is, but potentially that's good value. But again, it just depends because Aria is a 1-off at the moment, but if it increases by more than a 1-off, then it might be worth picking this one up just for the legendaries. But I think the key thing which I'm very impressed by with this pool is that literally every single gold card here is good. Like, you need all of these to play Forestcraft at the moment. Like Bale, you need 3 copies. Roach, you want to run 3 copies as well. And then you look at Cynthia, probably the best gold card that you're getting for the new set. It's effectively like a Zirconia, but for Forestcraft. And then also we're looking at the other gold card from the new set, so Guidance Lore. This really helps you manage your hand size, lets you cycle through your deck. I think this is another very good gold card. So if you're missing gold cards, you're going to be saving a lot of vials. So like potentially if you're starting completely out and you want to play Forest, like you're already saving like what, 800 vials or something like that. So you're saving like 2, 3, 4, 6 golds. And then depending on how many legendaries you might use, this might actually be one of the highest value starter decks available right now. If you haven't built Forest already, and you're ever considering playing Forest, I think this is definitely worth looking at. So that pretty much brings us to the end of the video. So we've covered all of the decks. I think, I've given you my opinions. All of these are perfectly viable to pick. I think the Ramp Dragoncraft is probably the weakest one to pick. As I mentioned before, you want to pick the starter deck that aligns to the class you're most interested in, but you also want to balance that with whether or not you already have legends within that class, and if you're going to go above that 3 legend limit. And so I recommend that you think about 2 classes at least that you like to play. So maybe you have your main class and you have your secondary class that you're interested in playing. And then if you already have all the cards for your main class, maybe look at your secondary class and which one of these is the highest benefit in terms of the cards you're missing within your collection. So I really do hope that this video helped you guys out. And if you like this type of content, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.